There's so much fear in America today. And yet fear is really foreign to the nature of who we are as Americans. This is not a country that was founded on fear, but a country that was founded on courage and a dream of freedom, a dream of creating a place for all. But here we are in 2007, disconnected from the world, a nation wrapped in fear, a nation that is mired in lies that took us into a war against people who did not attack us. If ever there was a call in America in a time for truth, this is the time. This is the time for all of us to be truth tellers. This is the time for all of us to stand up and speak the truth, to fearlessly proclaim the truth, to challenge those at every level of government to follow the truth, to say it is time for us to change our direction in Iraq, it is time for us to bring the troops home, it is time to stabilize Iraq by reaching out to the world community, it is time to send those contractors out of Iraq, give the Iraqi people jobs, give the oil back to the Iraqi people, stabilize the energy crisis, no IMF, the World Bank, structural adjustments in Iraq, give the Iraqi people back their country, but help them make it whole because we broke it and we're going to have to fix it. That we have. And recognizing that, I put forth a plan embodied in H.R. 1234. Remember that number? H.R. 1234. It's the plan to end the war. H.R. 1234. It's the plan to end the war. And what this plan does is it recognizes that first, Congress must stop funding the war. That's number one. Now, once Congress stops funding the war, the President has to notify the international community that the troops will be removed, that the bases are going to be closed, and that the occupation is over. When the occupation ends, that's the moment when we make that signal that the world community is going to be ready to be of assistance to the U.S. to stabilize Iraq. They have no interest in that right now. Who's going to bail us out of our predicament if we keep standing there or going in deeper? No one. However, after talking to people in the international community who worked at peacekeeping and security measures, after talking to military experts, it's very clear. We end the occupation, close the bases, announce that we'll do that and bring our troops home. The international community will be ready to participate in a stabilization force that would provide peacekeeping and security for the people of Iraq. Those troops move in as ours move out. This can be accomplished, and this is what H.R. 1234 calls for. But it also recognizes that it's not enough to say, bring the troops home and stabilize Iraq. There has to be a program for reconciliation between the Shiites, the Sunnis, and the Kurds. Our presence in Iraq helps prop up Shiites who have no interest in reconciling with the Sunnis because we're there to protect them. But we've got to have an international force that isn't playing a political game to try to prop up one group against another. We also need to have an honest reconstruction program. I mentioned it a moment ago. Remember, after we bombed Iraq, we said, well, the Bush administration said they had a plan to rebuild Iraq. And they're going to use the Iraqi people's money. Now, I want you to think about this. If somebody destroys your house, and then they say, I got a great idea. We're going to take your money, and we're going to rebuild your house. What a deal. That kind of just went by a lot of people in Congress. We're going to take the Iraqi people's money, and we're going to rebuild the places that we bombed with their money. Well, okay, let's take the journey further. $20 billion in Iraqi oil revenues taken back to the United States, converted to U.S. cash. 10.8 million of it sent to Iraq. shrink-wrapped in bundles of $75,000 each, 108 million $100 bills, $10.8 billion, loaded onto a cargo plane, sent to Baghdad to the Coalition Provisional Authority, and they can't tell us what happened to the money. Now, when I raised this question in a committee, one response was, well, you know, that's not taxpayers' money. You know, where's our morality here? What are they doing in our name? War in our name, stealing in our name, killing, murder in our name, torture in our name. Is that who we are? No. See, we need to remember who we are.